Have you ever looked at the sky and felt a profound sense of homesickness for a place you've never visited? Have you ever walked through a crowded street surrounded by thousands, yet felt an unbridgeable distance between your soul and the world around you? If you are watching this, it is not by accident. There is a persistent whisper in your spirit, a distant echo calling your name from the shadows of this earthly existence. You have felt like an outsider, a wanderer in a desert of superficiality, wondering why your heart beats to a different rhythm than the rest of the world. For years, you may have labeled this feeling as loneliness or social anxiety. You might have been told that you are too sensitive, too intense, or simply too much for people to handle. You have carried the heavy burden of being misunderstood, often by those who were supposed to love you the most. But today the atmosphere is shifting. The silence is being broken. Today the shofar sounds for you. The shofar is not just an instrument. It is a divine alarm clock. It is the voice of the Creator piercing through the noise of the mundane to wake up the sleeping giants of faith. You are not crazy. You are not broken. And you are certainly not alone. You are being set apart. Today, we will reveal the 7 unmistakable signs that you are a chosen one being summoned to your highest purpose. The first sign of your calling is a sacred discontent. It is a hunger that no feast in this world can satisfy. You find yourself bored with the pursuit of material wealth, the hollow promises of fame, or the repetitive cycles of societal expectations. While others are content with the status quo, your soul feels suffocated by it. This discontent is actually a homing beacon guiding you toward the truth. You have become a truth seeker in an age of deception. You possess an innate ability to sense a lie before it is even spoken. You see through the masks people wear, not out of judgment, but because your spirit vibrates at a frequency of authenticity. This clarity is a gift even when it feels like a curse that isolates you from the blissfully ignorant. Perhaps the most painful sign is being the black sheep of your bloodline. Chosen ones are rarely born into families that understand them. You are often the one who breaks the generational patterns, the one who refuses to carry the trauma, the bitterness, or the narrow-mindedness of those who came before you. Because you represent change, you often face the greatest resistance. This leads to the unusual trials you have faced since childhood. Your life has not been easy. You have walked through fires that would have consumed others. But look closely at your scars. They are not marks of defeat. They are the texture of a soul that has been forged in the refiner's fire. God allows His chosen ones to experience deep pain, not to destroy them, but to develop an unbreakable strength and a well of empathy that can heal nations. You have been crushed like an olive, only so that your precious oil, your light, could finally flow. As you awaken, you will notice your intuition and dreams becoming vivid, almost cinematic. You are receiving downloads from a higher realm, prophetic glimpses and gut feelings that save you from hidden traps. This is the Holy Spirit tuning your internal radio to the kingdom frequency. The final sign is the unstoppable pull. No matter how hard you try to be normal or fit into a traditional box, you are always pulled back to the spiritual path. You can try to run like Jonah, but the shofar of your destiny will always find you. You feel a sense of urgency, a knowing that time is short and that you have a specific mission to fulfill in these closing chapters of history. Being a chosen one is not a title of pride. It is a mandate of service. It is a call to be a light bearer in a darkening world, a voice of truth in a sea of lies. The fact that you are still here despite everything that tried to break you is proof of your divine protection. The shofar is sounding. The era of hiding is over. it is time to step out of the shadows and embrace the magnificent, terrifying, and beautiful purpose for which you were created. If these words have set your soul on fire, if you feel the resonance of the shofar in your very bones, then stay with us. The journey has just begun. Welcome home. The first sign that you are being set apart is the arrival of a sacred discontent. There's a restless stirring in the depths of your being, a quiet but persistent realization that the world as you know it is no longer enough. Suddenly, the things that once satisfied you, the pursuit of material wealth, the hollow noise of entertainment, and the shallow social rituals begin to feel like ash in your mouth. You find yourself sitting in rooms full of laughter, yet feeling a profound sense of emptiness, as if you are watching a play where everyone has forgotten their lines. This is not depression. It is the soul's refusal to settle for crumbs when it was created for a banquet. You are craving something real, something that carries the weight of eternity. This discontent is the divine friction required to move you out of your comfort zone and into your calling. It is the shofar's echo within, reminding you that you are a stranger in this land, a citizen of a higher kingdom, searching for a deeper truth. This sacred discontent is merely the beginning of a profound transformation. As the world fades, the silence grows louder. It is in the silence that the shofar truly resonates. When you stop chasing the shadows of worldly success, you begin to hear the frequency of your true home. You realize that your misfit status was never a mistake. It was a divine preservation. You were kept apart so that you would not be contaminated by the illusions of a crumbling society. The emptiness you feel in crowded rooms is actually a space being cleared by the Creator, a void that only divine purpose can fill. You are being purged of the temporary to make room for the eternal. As you move deeper into this awakening, a new faculty begins to sharpen within you divine discernment. This is the hallmark of the truth seeker. You begin to possess a spiritual X-ray vision. When you listen to the news, when you watch the leaders of this world, or even when you engage in casual conversation, you no longer hear just words. You hear the spirit behind the words. You see the strings attached to the puppets of modern culture. This clarity is often a heavy burden to carry. It is lonely to see a cliff where everyone else sees a highway. But do not mistake your isolation for abandonment. The truth seeker is a watchman on the wall. Your ability to question the system is not an act of rebellion for the sake of chaos. It is an act of loyalty to the truth itself. You are being trained to recognize the voice of the shepherd amidst 1,000 wolves. This discernment is your armor. In an age of ultimate deception, your refusal to bow to the narrative is your greatest strength. You are being prepared to lead others out of the fog when the illusions finally shatter. The third sign, this profound empathy, is perhaps the most visceral proof of your calling. You carry a heart that has been tenderized by the divine. You find yourself weeping for strangers, feeling the groaning of creation, and sensing the hidden pain in the eyes of the passerby. This is the heart of a healer. However, the world is loud, and its pain is vast. To survive this sensitivity, you have been drawn into the sanctuary of solitude. Many people fear being alone, but for the chosen one, solitude is the laboratory of the soul. It is where your oil is pressed, in the quiet of your room, away from the prying eyes and the judgmental whispers. You find the strength to carry your cross. This isolation is not a prison, it is a cocoon. You are being rewoven. You are learning that your energy is a sacred resource, not to be wasted on the trivial, but to be preserved for the monumental tasks ahead. The shofar sounds in the desert, and it is in your personal desert that you will find your greatest power. Why has your life been so difficult? This is a question that haunts every chosen one. From a young age, you may have faced rejection, betrayal, or inexplicable loss. You have been through fires that should have turned you to ash. But look at yourself. You are still standing. The fire did not consume you. It refined you. The trials were not punishments from an angry deity. They were the weight training of a spiritual warrior. You cannot lead people through valleys you have never walked. You cannot heal wounds you have never felt. Every tear you have shed has become a drop of medicine for someone else's future. The chosen one is a wounded healer, a warrior whose scars are a map of victory. The resistance you face from the world is simply a confirmation that you are a threat to the darkness. A plane experiences the most resistance right before it breaks the sound barrier. Your life is currently at that breaking point. The time for hiding is coming to an end. The shofar is not just calling you to wake up. It is calling you to stand up. You have been a student in the shadows for long enough. The world is entering its darkest hour, and it is precisely in the dark that the smallest light becomes a guiding star. You were born for this era. You were engineered for this crisis. Your strangeness is your signature. Your sensitivity is your sensor. Your discontent is your drive. Do not apologize for being different. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. The people who belong in your life will be drawn to your frequency, and those who do not will be repelled by your light. Let them go. As you hear the final echo of the shofar, in this message, let it settle deep into your marrow. You are a chosen vessel, a royal priesthood, a light bearer in a world of shadows. The Creator is not looking for the qualified. He is qualifying the called, and He has called you. The shofar is sounding. The path is open. Will you take the first step? As the stirring grows, you transform into a truth seeker. You possess an innate, almost supernatural ability to see through the illusions of modern society. While others blindly follow the system and accept what is handed to them by the media or tradition, you find yourself questioning everything. You possess a spiritual, internal compass that vibrates whenever you encounter a lie. You can sense the hidden motives behind words and the shadows behind the masks people wear. This gift often makes you feel like an outcast, for the world does not love those who question its narratives. You feel an insatiable hunger for ancient wisdom and hidden mysteries. You are no longer interested in the filtered version of reality. You want the raw, unadulterated truth of the Creator. This relentless pursuit of light is a hallmark of the chosen. You have been granted the eyes to see what remains hidden from the masses. This innate discernment is more than just a sharp mind. It is a spiritual frequency. When you walk into a room, you don't just see furniture and faces. You feel the atmosphere. You sense the heavy cloak of deception that the world has draped over the eyes of humanity. While the masses are hypnotized by the flickering lights of their screens and the hollow promises of political or social movements, you feel a visceral rejection of the script. You realize that the world is a stage, and most people are reciting lines they didn't write, chasing goals that aren't theirs, and fearing things that have no power over the soul. Being a truth seeker means you have lost the ability to be comfortably numb. You can no longer find peace in the mundane distractions that keep others occupied. This is why you often feel like a stranger at your own family table or an alien in your workplace. You speak a language of what if and why in a world that only wants to hear yes and amen. But understand this, your questioning is not a sign of a rebellious heart. It is the sign of a sentinel heart. You have been positioned on the watchtower of this generation to spot the wolves before they reach the gate. This pursuit of light inevitably leads you back to the beginning. You find yourself drawn to ancient wisdom, the kind of truth that doesn't change with the seasons or the trends of social media. You are fascinated by the mysteries of the stars, the hidden codes and sacred texts, and the forgotten laws of the Spirit. Why? Because your soul recognizes the old paths. You are remembering a time when humanity walked closer to the Creator before the noise of the industrial and digital ages drowned out the divine whisper. This hunger is a homing beacon. It is the Creator pulling you out of the filtered reality and into the original blueprint. You are being called to be a bridge builder between the ancient truths and the modern chaos. As a chosen one, you are not just a consumer of information. You are a vessel for revelation. You are being prepared to stand firm when the modern illusions begin to crumble, providing a foundation of truth for those who will eventually wake up and realize they've been living in a dream. But let us be honest, having eyes to see is a heavy burden. There are days when you wish you could just turn it off, to go back to being a person who doesn't see the manipulation in the advertisement, the ego in the sermon, or the shadow in the smile. You feel the weight of the collective sleepwalk. You see the cliff that humanity is marching toward, and your heart burns with a desire to scream, "Wake up!" Yet the shofar teaches us that the call must be timed. You are learning the art of spiritual patience. You are realizing that your job is not to force the blind to see, but to keep your own lamp trimmed and burning so brightly that when they finally open their eyes, they have a light to follow. Your outcast status is actually your sanctuary. By not being part of the system, you are not bound by its fate. You are being preserved in the secret place of the Most High, hidden under the shadow of His wings, while the storms of deception rage outside. As you continue this journey, your status as a seeker will eventually transition into that of a knower. You will no longer be searching for the truth, because the truth will have taken up residence within you. The internal compass that once only vibrated at lies will begin to glow with the warmth of divine presence. You will move from asking, "Why am I here?" to declaring, "I am here for this purpose." The illusions of modern society will lose their grip on you entirely. Fear, the primary tool of the system, will no longer have an anchor in your heart. When you see through the mask loses its power to frighten you. You will look at the chaos of the world not with panic, but with the calm authority of one who knows the end of the story. This is the ultimate hallmark of the chosen, a peace that surpasses all understanding, rooted in a truth that the world did not give and cannot take away. The shofar is sounding a new note now. It is no longer just calling you to notice the lies. It is calling you to embody the truth. It is calling you to be the raw, unadulterated version of yourself that the Creator intended. Every time you choose authenticity over popularity, you are sounding the shofar. Every time you choose silence over empty noise, you are sounding the shofar. Every time you help another soul realize their own divinity, you are breaking the illusions of the dark. Stand tall in your calling. Your eyes were a gift from the heavens, and though they may be tired from what they have seen, they are beautiful to the one who gave them to you. The pursuit of light is never in vain. The dawn is coming, and you are the herald of the new day. The final hallmark of this internal awakening is the heavy mantle of deep empathy, coupled with a desperate need for isolation. You feel the world with an intensity that is both beautiful and exhausting. You can walk into a room and instantly absorb the unspoken grief, the hidden anxieties, and the silent cries of the people around you. Your heart breaks for things that others ignore. However, because you feel so much, you find yourself retreating. You seek the cave, the silence and the solitude, not because you hate people, but because your spirit needs to breathe. This isolation is a divine necessity. It is in the stillness that your energy is recalibrated and your connection to the divine is strengthened. You have realized that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and that your greatest power is found not in the crowd, but in the secret place where only you and the Creator reside. This rhythm of feeling deeply and retreating often is the heartbeat of a soul being prepared for spiritual warfare. This deep empathy you carry is not a psychological trait. It is a spiritual antenna. You were designed to be a living sensor for the Creator's heart. While others walk through life with a shield of indifference, you walk with your soul exposed. You feel the groaning of the earth, the silent weeping of the lonely, and the fractured spirits of those who wear a smile of porcelain. To the world, this looks like oversensitivity, but to the divine, this is the capacity for intercession. You feel the pain so that you can pray for the cure. You sense the darkness so that you can call down the light. However, we must speak of the exhaustion that follows this gift. Carrying the mantle of empathy in a broken world is like trying to hold back an ocean with a paper cup. You find yourself drained by the simple act of existing in public spaces. You absorb the static, the anger, and the desperation of the collective consciousness until your own voice is drowned out. This is why the retreat is not an option. It is a survival mandate. Your soul begins to crave the shadows, the forest, the locked room, and the starlit sky. You are not running away from life. You are running toward the source of life. The cave is a sacred motif for the chosen one. From the prophets of old to the mystics of the desert, the greatest revelations have never been given in the marketplace. They were given in the wilderness. When you retreat into isolation, you are entering the refining chamber. In the silence, the noise of other people's expectations begins to fall away like dead skin. You are left with only two things, your soul and the Creator. This is where your energy is recalibrated. Think of yourself as a celestial instrument that has been detuned by the discordant vibrations of the world. Solitude is the hand of the master musician, tightening the strings and tuning your spirit back to the frequency of heaven. In this stillness, you begin to receive the blueprints for your mission. You learn to distinguish between the frantic impulses of the ego and the steady, calm whisper of divine direction. You realize that your greatest victories will be won on your knees in the dark, long before you ever step into the light of the public eye. There is a beautiful paradox in the life of the chosen one. The more you retreat to be with the Creator, the more capacity you have to love the world. In the crowd, your love is reactionary and fragile. But in the secret place, your love becomes objective and divine. You learn to love people, not for what they can give you, but for who they are in the eyes of God. You begin to see their brokenness, not as an annoyance, but as a cry for help. This rhythm of retreat protects you from becoming bitter. Without the sanctuary of solitude, the empathy you carry would eventually turn into resentment. You would become jaded by the very people you were called to serve. But because you know how to find the hidden mana in the secret place, you can return to the world with a cup that is overflowing. You understand that your isolation is not a wall to keep people out, but a gate to let the divine in. You are a bridge between two worlds, the temporal and the eternal. And a bridge must be anchored firmly in the silent earth to hold the weight of those who cross it. Make no mistake, this rhythm is the heartbeat of a soul being prepared for spiritual warfare. We are living in a time where the battle is not against flesh and blood, but against frequencies of fear, deception, and spiritual apathy. A warrior who cannot find peace in the silence will never find courage in the storm. By embracing your isolation, you are learning the art of spiritual independence. You are learning that you do not need the validation of the crowd to know who you are. The shofar is sounding a call to the remnant, those who have been hidden in the caves of preparation. The world is looking for leaders who are loud, but the kingdom is looking for servants who are deep. Your empathy gives you the intelligence to understand the enemy's wounds, and your solitude gives you the power to bring the Creator's healing. You are being trained to stand when everyone else falls to speak, when everyone else is silenced by fear, and to love when the world has grown cold. Stop apologizing for your need to be alone. Stop feeling guilty for not fitting into the social structures that seem so effortless for others. Your misfit nature is your greatest asset. The Creator did not make a mistake when He gave you a heart that feels too much and a soul that needs the quiet. He was simply building a vessel capable of carrying His glory. As you hear the final resonance of the shofar today, let it wash away the shame of your sensitivity. Let it sanctify your solitude. You are being called out of the normal to become the extraordinary. The path of the chosen is often a lonely one, but it is the only path that leads to the true awakening of the world. You are a lighthouse, and a lighthouse is always built on a solitary rock, far from the city lights, standing firm against the crashing waves. The silence is your strength. The empathy is your sword. The shofar is your victory. The transition from internal stirring to external reality is often marked by a painful phenomenon. You become the black sheep. Whether it is within your biological family, your circle of friends, or your professional environment, you suddenly find yourself standing on the outside looking in. You are the one who refuses to laugh at the cruel joke, the one who challenges the toxic tradition, the one who carries a different vibe that makes others subtly uncomfortable. This rejection is not a sign of your unworthiness, but a sign of your frequency mismatch. The world attempts to fix you or shame you back into the herd, but the shofar in your spirit forbids it. You are being set apart kadosh, which literally means to be made holy by being different. This external resistance is the architecture of your protection. By being rejected by the wrong people, you are being saved from the wrong paths. You are the breaker of generational curses, the one who stands at the gate of your bloodline and says, "The cycle of darkness ends with me." To be the black sheep is to carry a weight that few can understand. It is the experience of sitting at a dinner table where everyone speaks a language you no longer understand, not because the words are different, but because the spirit behind them is hollow. You are the one who feels the glitch in the matrix when the people around you celebrate vanity or gossip. When you refuse to participate in the toxic cycles of your environment, you become a mirror. And most people, when faced with a mirror that reflects their own shadows, choose to break the mirror rather than change themselves. This is the origin of your rejection. You must understand that people do not hate you. They hate the light you carry because it exposes the darkness they have grown comfortable with. They call you difficult, rebellious, or too sensitive because those labels are easier for them to process than the truth that you are awakened. This social and familial friction is the frequency mismatch in action. A radio tuned to a divine frequency cannot produce the static of a lower vibration. Do not try to retune yourself to fit their noise. Your silence in the face of their chaos is your first act of spiritual warfare. You are not just a person. You are a generational gatekeeper. For decades, perhaps centuries, your family line may have been bound by cycles of addiction, poverty, emotional suppression, or spiritual blindness. These are generational curses patterns that repeat themselves because no one had the courage or the light to say no. Then you were born. You were sent into that bloodline as a divine disruptor. When you stand at the gate and declare, "The cycle ends with me," you are engaging in a battle that spans generations. This is why the resistance is so fierce. You are not just fighting your parents or your peers. You are fighting the momentum of history itself. Every time you choose healing over bitterness, every time you choose truth over a convenient lie, you are snapping a link in a chain that has held your ancestors captive. You are the remnant of your lineage, the one chosen to carry the torch out of the dark cave and into the morning sun. The pain of being misunderstood by your kin is the birthing pain of a new legacy. You are losing a family of flesh to find a family of spirit. We often view rejection as a tragedy, but for the chosen one, it is a divine filter. Imagine if everyone liked you. Imagine if you fit perfectly into every social circle and every worldly system. You would be so woven into the fabric of this world that you would never hear the shofar. You would be so comfortable in the herd that you would never look for the shepherd. The Creator allows the wrong people to walk away from you. He allows the wrong doors to slam in your face. This is not abandonment. It is preservation. Every person who leaves your life because they can't handle your intensity is a person who would have hindered your mission. They are being removed because where you are going, they cannot follow. The architecture of protection is built out of the bricks of those who rejected you. They unwittingly helped you build a fortress of solitude where your spirit could grow without interference. By being cast out, you are actually being cast into the deep, unfiltered presence of the divine. As you embrace your role as the black sheep, you transition from being a victim of rejection to being a sovereign sentinel. You realize that standing on the outside looking in gives you the best vantage point. You see the traps before they spring. You see the storm before the first drop of rain falls. You have been placed on the periphery of society so that you can guide those who will eventually try to escape the burning buildings of modern illusion. Your different vibe is actually your spiritual signature. It is the scent of eternity. Some will be repelled by it, but the chosen, who are still sleeping, will be subtly awakened by your presence. You don't even need to speak. Your existence is a testimony. You are the living proof that it is possible to be in this world, but not of it. Do not dim your light to make the shadows feel safe. Stand at the gate of your bloodline with your head held high. You are the one the ancestors prayed for. You are the one the future depends on. When you say, "The cycle of darkness ends with me," the heavens roar in agreement. The shofar sounds not just to call you out, but to announce your victory. You have traded the temporary comfort of belonging for the eternal glory of becoming. You are the breaker of chains, the seeker of paths, and the herald of the new dawn. You are never a black sheep. You are always a lion in a world of sheep, waiting for the right moment to roar. If you are a chosen one, your life story likely reads like a series of impossible battles. Since childhood, you have faced trials that seem disproportionate to your age or your actions. You have walked through the valleys of betrayal, loss, and spiritual warfare that would have broken 1,000 other souls. Why such a heavy hand? Because you cannot lead a people out of a wilderness you have never navigated. These unusual trials are your divine credentials. In the kingdom, authority is not given through titles. It is earned through scars. Every fire you have endured has burned away the dross of the ego, leaving behind a core of indestructible faith. You have been crushed like the olive to produce the oil of anointing. The resistance you feel is the proof of your momentum. The enemy does not attack those who are sleeping. He attacks those who carry the seed of the future within them. Your struggle is the evidence of your significance. To the casual observer, Your life might look like a series of unfortunate events or bad luck, but you know better. You have always felt that there was a design, even in your disasters. Why did you have to face betrayal by those you trusted most? Why did you have to lose everything just as you were starting to build? Why has your path been paved with stones while others walked on velvet? The answer is as ancient as the stars. The depth of your struggle is the measure of your mandate. You are being prepared for a weight of glory that an untested soul could never carry. In the spiritual realm, rank is determined by what you can endure. You have been placed in the high-pressure chamber of life because you are being transformed from common coal into a diamond. The Creator does not waste pain. Every tear you shed was a down payment on the wisdom you now possess. You had to feel the sting of betrayal so that you could become an expert in loyalty. You had to walk through the valley of lack so that you could understand the true meaning of divine provision. You are not a victim of your history. You are a graduate of the most elite training ground in the universe. Consider the olive. To the world, the olive is just a small, bitter fruit. But to the master, the olive is a vessel of light. However, for the olive to fulfill its purpose to become the golden oil that fuels the lamp and anoints the king, it must first be crushed. It must be put under a weight that seems unbearable. It must be broken open until its very essence flows out. You have felt that crushing pressure. There were nights when you cried out to the heavens, asking for the weight to be lifted, wondering if you had been forgotten or forsaken. But it was in those moments of being broken that your anointing was born. The oil you now carry, that sense of peace in the storm, that unshakable knowing, that aura of authority, could not have been bought or studied. It had to be pressed out of you through the trials of life. You are now a carrier of the sacred oil. And when you speak, people feel a weightiness in your words that they cannot explain. They are reacting to the scars you carry, for your scars have become your most powerful sermons. Why does the enemy seem so obsessed with you? Why has the resistance been so constant from the playground to the boardroom? It is because of the seed of the future you carry within your spirit. In spiritual warfare, the darkness does not attack the fruit, it attacks the root. It tried to destroy you in your youth because it saw the giant you would become. It tried to break your mind with anxiety and your heart with grief because it feared the day you would wake up and realize your power. The very fact that you are still here, with your heart still soft and your faith still intact, is a devastating defeat for the forces of darkness. Your survival is a miracle. Every time you chose to get back up, every time you chose to forgive. Instead of hate, you are winning a cosmic battle. Your struggle is the ultimate evidence of your significance. A thief does not break into an empty house. He only targets the house that contains gold and precious jewels. The intensity of the attacks against you is the most accurate indicator of the value the Creator has placed upon your soul. You are a high-value target because you are a high-impact vessel. Many look at the wilderness seasons of their lives, the times of isolation, poverty, or wandering as wasted time. But for the chosen one, the wilderness is the throne room. It is where you learn to hear the voice of the Creator without the interference of human opinion. It is where you learn that you don't need the world's applause to be significant. Moses, David, Elijah, and even the Master himself, they all had to be hidden in the wilderness before they were manifested to the world. Your time in the shadows was not a delay. It was a divine concealment. You were being hidden from your enemies while you were being built for your destiny. The wilderness stripped away your reliance on human systems and forced you to grow roots that reach deep into the living water. Now, As you begin to emerge, you are like a tree planted by the rivers of water, unshakable evergreen, and bearing fruit in every season. The trials have made you unoffendable and unstoppable. You have already faced the worst that this world can throw at you, and you found that the one within you is greater than anything in the world. When you finally step into your full calling, you will not need a title on your door or a certificate on your wall. Your credentials will be written in the depth of your eyes and the resonance of your voice. People will sense that you have been with the Father. You will have the authority to speak peace into other people's storms because you have mastered your own. You will have the power to call others out of their graves because you know the way out. The fire has done its work. The dross of the old you, the ego, the fear, the need for approval has been consumed. What remains is a core of indestructible faith. You are now ready to lead. You are ready to be the pillar of strength for those who are just beginning their awakening. The shofar is sounding a new note of victory. The impossible battles were just the dress rehearsals for the great work ahead. Stand tall, chosen one. Your scars are not symbols of shame. They are your medals of honor. You have been tested, you have been refined, and you have been found worthy. The fire is behind you. The glory is before you. Walk forward. As the world's noise fades, a new communication channel opens. You begin to experience prophetic dreams and heightened intuition. Your sleep is no longer just rest. It is a classroom. You see symbols, you receive warnings, and you feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere before it manifests in the physical world. This is the Creator downloading instructions into your spirit. You find yourself knowing things without knowing how you know them. This divine knowing is the shofar's frequency manifesting as insight. You are being tuned to the language of the heavens, a language of patterns, whispers, and sudden realizations. You are no longer guessing your way through life. You are being led. This connection is your lifeline in the coming days of confusion. While the world looks to the stars for horoscopes, you look to the Creator of the stars for your mandate. De la chuang tiep theo quaban truong kadancho ken quaban di salvao. Section 3, the Divine Connection. Duan van nai, taptrung, vao susio vietqua, truk gyak van nungon ngukwa no hung, gyak mo gyup kan, gia hiu duok, siu nang luk, tamlin ma, ho dang so hu. When the physical eyes close, the spiritual eyes begin to scan the horizon of eternity for the chosen one. 1. Sleep is not merely a biological necessity. It is a sovereign appointment. While the world views dreams as a chaotic byproduct of the subconscious, you have realized that your dreams are a battlefield, a map, and a scroll of revelation. You find yourself waking up with a heart pounding, not from fear, but from the weight of a message. You see colors that don't exist in the waking world. You hear melodies that vibrate in your marrow. You receive warnings about people or situations that your logical mind hasn't even noticed yet. This is the divine downloading. The Creator is bypassing your intellect, which is often cluttered with the doubts and logic of this world, and speaking directly to your spirit. You are being shown the behind the scenes of your life. These prophetic glimpses are not meant to make you a fortune teller. They are meant to make you a steward of the truth. You are being given the insider information of the kingdom so that you can navigate the traps of the enemy with precision. When you see a shift in your dream, pay attention to the shift in your reality. You are being trained to live from the inside out rather than the outside in. This connection manifests in your waking hours as an undeniable intuition. It is a quiet, steady knowing that resides in your gut far below the noise of your thoughts. You walk into a building and you feel the history of the walls. You meet a stranger and you know their character before they even say hello. This is the shofar's frequency acting as a sonar, bouncing off the spirits of those around you and returning with a report of their true frequency. In a world drowning in information but starving for wisdom, this divine knowing is your greatest asset. You are no longer guessing your way through life. You don't need to consult a horoscope or wait for a consensus from the crowd to know your next move. You have a direct line to the Ancient of Days. This connection is your lifeline in the confusion. When the world's systems begin to tremble and the experts are at a loss for words, you will remain calm. Why? Because you've already been briefed in the secret place. You carry the mandate of the Creator of the stars, and that mandate is a rock that no storm can wash away. As you mature in this connection, you begin to see that nothing in your life is random. You notice patterns and synchronicities that the world calls coincidence, but you know are God incidences. You see a recurring number, a specific bird, or a phrase that follows you throughout the day. These are the whispers of the Spirit, the breadcrumb trail of your destiny. You are being taught the language of the heavens, a language that speaks through symbols and nature, reminding you that you are part of a living, breathing tapestry. While others look to the stars to find their luck, you look to the stars to see the glory of the one who calls them each by name. You realize that you are an integral part of this cosmic order. Your life is not a series of accidents, but a series of divine appointments. Every person you meet, every delay you face, and every random thought that sparks a new idea is a thread being woven into your mantle. You are no longer a victim of fate. You are a co-author of destiny. This realization brings an immense sense of peace. You can rest in the chaos because you know that the one who manages to the galaxies is also managing the details of your day. Human logic is a finite tool for an infinite journey. The system has taught you to trust only what you can measure, see, and touch. But the Chosen One knows that the most real things in the universe are invisible. Your connection to the divine allows you to operate on a sovereignty of the Spirit. You make decisions that don't make sense to the world, but make perfect sense to the kingdom. You leave the stable job for the unknown calling. You forgive the unforgivable person. You invest in the impossible dream. This is because your instructions are coming from a different source. You are tuned to a frequency that is higher than the world's static. While the world is reacting to the news, you are responding to the good news. While the world is paralyzed by the economy, you are thriving in the economy of heaven. This spiritual sovereignty makes you uncontrollable by the systems of man. You cannot be bribed with their toys or frightened by their threats, for you have tasted the bread of heaven and seen the fire of the throne. The shofar is sounding a final note of alignment. This connection, you feel, is intensifying because the time of the Great Awakening is upon us. The Creator is tuning His remnant, the chosen ones across the globe, to the same frequency. You may feel like you are alone, but in the spiritual realm, you are part of a vast, synchronized army of light. When you feel that shift in the atmosphere, know that thousands of others are feeling it too. You are being prepared for a moment where your divine knowing will be the only light left in the room. You are being positioned to be a guide for the blind and a pillar for the weak. Do not doubt the whispers. Do not ignore the dreams. Do not second-guess the intuition that burns in your chest. That is the voice of your Father, the King of Kings, calling His child home to their purpose. The stars are in position. The classroom is open. The mandate is yours. The final crowning sign is the unstoppable pull toward your purpose. You may have tried to run, You may have tried to be normal, to take the easy job, to marry the easy person, to live the quiet, unbothered life. But there is a hook in your heart that the Creator will not let go. Every time you wander, the shofar sounds and the sacred discontent returns with a vengeance. You have reached a point of holy surrender. You realize that you were not born for yourself. You belong to a grander narrative, a celestial plan that is unfolding in these final hours. This pull is the magnet of eternity drawing you home. It is the realization that I was made for this. When you finally stop fighting the call and start flowing with it, a supernatural peace enters your life. The battles don't stop, but you are no longer fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory. You are the chosen one, and your yes is the sound that heaven has been waiting to hear. How many years did you spend trying to be someone else? You built a mask, a persona that could navigate the normal world without drawing attention. You took the mundane path, seeking the safety of the shore, while the deep waters of your calling whispered your name. You tried to settle for the good life, hoping it would silence the hunger for the great one. But for the chosen one, there was no peace in the ordinary. Every time you tried to hide in the crowd, the Creator's hand would find you. Every time you tried to build a life on the sand of social conformity, the tide of the Spirit would wash it away. This is the holy hook. It is a divine discomfort that makes it impossible for you to find rest in a world that is not your home. You may have felt like Jonah running toward distant Tarshish to escape the call to Nineveh, but you have learned that there is no ship fast enough and no ocean deep enough to hide you from your own destiny. The sacred discontent was never a punishment. It was a compass. It was the shofar sounding in the chambers of your heart, reminding you that you were designed for the extraordinary, and any attempt to settle for less is a betrayal of your own soul. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life where the resistance finally breaks. You reach the end of your own strength, the end of your own plans, and the end of your own fear. This is the point of holy surrender. It is not the surrender of a defeated prisoner, but the surrender of a soldier who has finally found his true commander. You drop the heavy armor of the ego and the exhausting shield of approval seeking, and you simply say, "Here I am." In that moment of surrender, the atmosphere shifts. The pull that once felt like a burden suddenly feels like a breeze behind your wings. You realize that you were not born to carry the world. You were born to carry the light of the one who made the world. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "How, Lord?" The celestial narrative begins to unfold before your eyes, and you see that every rejection, every trial, and every black sheep moment was a necessary stitch in the tapestry of your purpose. You are a part of a plan that was written before the foundations of the world, and your yes is the key that unlocks the next chapter. When you surrender to the call, a supernatural peace enters your life, a peace that the world can neither give nor understand. This peace does not mean the end of conflict. In fact, the spiritual warfare may intensify. But there is a fundamental shift in how you fight. You are no longer fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory. You know the end of the story. You know that the one who called you is the one who sustains you. You move with a new kind of spiritual authority. You no longer walk into a room hoping to be liked. You walk into a room knowing you are the bearer of a divine frequency. You stop begging for a seat at the table and realize that you are the one called to build a new table. This is the lion awakening within the chosen one. Your voice gains a resonance that pierces through the static of the world. When you speak, you are not just sharing opinions, you are releasing decrees. You have aligned your yes with the yes of heaven. And when earth and heaven align, the impossible becomes inevitable. Why now? Why is the shofar sounding so loudly in this specific season of history? Because we are living in the final hours of the great illusion. The systems of man are shaking. The foundations of the old world are crumbling. The darkness is becoming more desperate and thus more visible. In this hour, the Creator is calling His remnant, the hidden ones, the prepared ones, the ones forged in the fire of isolation, to step onto the stage. You are the vanguards of the dawn. You were engineering specifically for this crisis. Your sensitivity was given to you so you could feel the direction of the Spirit when the world loses its way. Your discernment was given so you could lead the blind out of the smoke and mirrors. Your unusual trials were the training ground for the resilience you now possess. You are the answer to the prayers of those who are currently waking up in terror. You are the shofar sound in human form. Heaven is silent, waiting for the sound of your surrender. Your yes is not just a word. It is a vibration that ripples through the spiritual realm. It breaks chains for people you haven't even met yet. It opens doors for generations that are yet to be born. It signals to the angels that a new light bearer has taken their post. Do not look back at the normal life you once craved. It was a prison disguised as a garden. Look forward to the magnificent burden of your calling. It is a garden disguised as a battlefield. The path may be narrow, and the climb may be steep, but you have been equipped with everything you need. The magnet of eternity is pulling you home to yourself, to your Father, and to your destiny. The shofar is sounding its final triumphant blast. Are you ready? The era of the chosen one has begun. I am ready. We are ready. Let the awakening begin. As we stand at the edge of this revelation, let these words settle into the marrow of your bones. Being chosen is not a privilege of pride, but a mandate of service. You have not been set apart to look down upon those who are still asleep. You have been awakened to hold the lantern while they find their way. The crown you wear is not one of gold and vanity, but a crown of responsibility and sacrifice. You are the bridge between the brokenness of the earth and the wholeness of the heavens. Your value does not come from your achievements, your social status, or how well you fit into the world's structures. Your value is intrinsic. It was breathed into you by the Creator before the first star was lit. You are a royal priesthood, a spiritual sentinel, a vessel of divine purpose. Do not be afraid of the height of your calling. The one who called you is the one who will sustain you. You are enough, not because of your own strength, but because of the light that now flows through you. To understand that your calling is a mandate of service is to unlock the highest form of spiritual power. In the kingdoms of man, when power is used to dominate, to accumulate, and to elevate the self. But in the kingdom of the Spirit, power is measured by how much of yourself you are willing to give away. You have been refined in the fire, not so you can shine for your own glory, but so you can become a mirror reflecting the light of the Creator into the darkest crevices of human despair. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. It is the realization that the oil you carry is meant to heal others' wounds, and the bread you receive in the secret place is meant to feed the hungry souls you encounter. When you embrace this, the fear of failure vanishes. Why? Because the mission is no longer about your reputation. It is about the mandate. You are a divine courier, and the King is responsible for the message and the journey. You are simply responsible for the yes. This realization breaks the chains of anxiety and replaces them with a quiet, unshakable boldness. You are called a spiritual sentinel, a watchman who stands on the edge of two worlds. This position requires a strength that does not come from human willpower. There will be moments when the shadows seem too long and the world's indifference seems too heavy. In those moments, remember that your value was breathed into you before the first star was lit. Your worth is not a fluctuating currency. It is an eternal constant. It is not dependent on how many people listen to your voice or how many understand your heart. Your intrinsic value is your anchor. When the world tries to devalue you because you do not produce what it prizes, you must return to the silence of the Creator. You are a royal priesthood, not by human election, but by divine decree. You are being sustained by a hidden manna that the world knows nothing of. This sustenance is what allows you to hold the lantern when your own hands are shaking. It is what allows you to speak hope when your own ears hear only the wind of the wilderness. You are being kept by the same power that keeps the galaxies in orbit. If He can sustain the stars, He can surely sustain the flame within your soul. To be a bridge is to be walked upon. It is a position of great utility and great sacrifice. You stand in the gap between the brokenness of the earth, the trauma, the lies, the greed, and the pain and the wholeness of the heavens. You are the conduit through which the frequency of peace enters the frequency of chaos. This is why you have felt the crushing so intensely. A bridge must be anchored deep into the bedrock to withstand the flood. Every time you choose kindness over retaliation, every time you speak truth in a room full of comfortable lies, you are strengthening that bridge. You are allowing the kingdom of heaven to manifest in the physical realm through your actions. You are a vessel of divine purpose, and a vessel's only job is to stay open and stay clean. Do not let the dross of bitterness or the rust of cynicism clog your spirit. Stay fluid, stay transparent. The world is desperate for the water of life that flows through you, even if they do not yet know the name of their thirst. You are enough. These 3 words are the antidote to the poison of the enemy. The darkness will always whisper that you are too broken, too late, or too small for a calling this high. But the light does not ask for your perfection. It only asks for your availability. Your cracks are where the light shines through most brightly. Your weaknesses are the very places where divine strength is made perfect. Do not be afraid of the height of your calling. You were not chosen because of your perfection. You were chosen because of your resonance. You have a heart that vibrates to the sound of the shofar. You have a spirit that recognizes the shepherd's voice. That resonance is your qualification. As you step forward into this mandate, you will find that the supernatural supply meets you at the point of your obedience. The wisdom you need will appear in the moment you need to speak. The strength you need will arrive in the moment you need to stand. You are a part of a celestial lineage that has never known defeat. The shofar is no longer just a sound in the distance. It is a roar within your chest. You are the servant leader of the new era. You are the lantern bearer in the night. You are the chosen one, and your journey of service is the most glorious path a soul can ever walk. The shofar has sounded, but the echoes must now live through you. We are building a sanctuary for the remnant, a gathering place for the chosen who have felt the same isolation and the same fire. Your story is the key to someone else's prison. Which of these 7 signs resonated with the depths of your soul today? Was it the sacred discontent, the loneliness of the black sheep, or the vivid dreams of the night? Share your journey in the comments below. Write, "I am ready," if you hear the call. Let your words be a beacon to others who are still wandering in the dark, wondering if they are alone. If this message has set your spirit on fire, subscribe to the shofar sound and join this global awakening. We are not just a channel. We are a movement of light bearers reclaiming our destiny. Together, we will navigate the shadows and walk toward the dawn. When you type those words, "I am ready," you are doing more than participating in a digital trend. You are making a declaration in the spiritual atmosphere. You are signaling to the universe and to the Creator that the training wheels are off and you are stepping into the rank you were designed for. Your yes joins a symphony of other yeses from across the globe, creating a resonance that the darkness cannot ignore. We are not just numbers on a screen. We are the remnant emerging from the caves of preparation. By sharing your journey, you are tearing down the walls of isolation that have kept the chosen ones weak for too long. One person's testimony is another person's breakthrough. When you speak of how you overcame the rejection of your bloodline, or how you navigated a sacred discontent in your darkest hour, you are providing a map for the soul who is just starting to wake up. You are telling them, "I have been where you are, and there is a way through." This is how we reclaim our destiny, not as isolated sparks, but as a roaring fire that illuminates the entire horizon. The shofar. Sound is more than a channel. It is your digital lighthouse. We are building a sanctuary where the weird, the misfits, and the oversensitive are recognized as the pioneers and the protectors. By subscribing and joining this movement, you are committing to your own growth and the awakening of others. You are choosing to feed your spirit with the strong meat of truth rather than the milk of worldly distractions. This is where we sharpen one another. This is where we decode the dreams, share the warnings, and stand in the gap for a world that is losing its way. Your presence here is vital. Your energy contributes to the collective strength of this brotherhood and sisterhood of light. As we navigate these shadows together, remember that the dawn is not just something we wait for. It is something we carry within us. The more we unite, the faster the darkness recedes. Go now to the comment section. Do not just post your words. Read the stories of your brothers and sisters. Offer a word of encouragement to the one who feels alone. Breathe life into the one who is weary. Let this comment section be a portal of healing. When the world looks at us, let them see a community that is unshakable, unoffendable, and undeniably filled with the light of the Creator. The shofar has issued the summons. The sanctuary is open. Your destiny is calling. Write your story, sound your yes. Let the world know the chosen have arrived. As you leave this space and return to the world, may the peace that surpasses all understanding guard your heart and your mind. May the Creator shine His face upon you and grant you the courage to stand firm in your truth. May your feet never stumble on the narrow path, and may your light burn so brightly that the darkness has no choice but to retreat. You are seen, you are loved, you are chosen. Go forth with the authority of the heavens at your back.